of even the best officials. Fortunately, I'm not on it, because I wasn't here. Knowledge of the game, knowledge of the rules, experience. There's 3 of us in the room here, sorry, 4 as well, because she's referee, table official, everything. Yeah. Oh, now, point guard. Point guard. Point guard, yeah. Excellent. My knowledge, Mark's knowledge, Marcin's knowledge. But my understanding of the feel for the game, feel for what's going off, is probably a little bit more than Mark's, a little bit more than Marcin's. Mark was talking about charge block this morning. Very well explained, I thought. Sometimes you have 3 players standing doing nothing wrong, and the offensive player initiates all the contact. What do we get? Beep, block. How? I have a wonderful saying. You can't get a Great Dane through a cat flap. It's impossible. If there is a gap there and somebody tries to go through it and the defence does nothing wrong, how can you penalise them? You can't. The rules say you have the space from the top of your head to the roof. Okay, it's not very much in here, but in the gym it'll be bigger. That is your space. Nobody can violate your space. And if you go straight up and you come straight down, there is only 2 calls. Offensive or a no call. Yes, there's contact. Oh, ref, that's defensive. Your guy, who initiated all the contact? The offence. You want the cheapest offensive foul, then please do it again. It's understanding, feel for what's going on. You can't penalise somebody if they don't do anything wrong. As I say, you may feel that an official is not being correct in your opinion, but to me that's more of a emotional perception than obviously reality. There are good officials, there are bad officials, there's inconsistent officials, but shouting and trying to cuss them out will not help you improve any relationships. What do you think we do when we're not refereeing? Same as John would do with his players. Sit down, DVD, I look at DVDs against. Obviously we don't have the resources in this country, but when we get back, in Europe it's great. You get up back to the locker room after the game, and within 5 minutes the DVD's there. It's there. It sometimes arrives before the score sheet to sign. So you've got the DVD to take home. Better now, it used to be Betamax videos, all the big ones. Remember the big Philips 2000s you used to have to stand on to play? Still got one of them as well. Fantastic. I've got thousands of tapes of my games. It's great to see how you've improved, how the players have changed, to see the hideous kits and the pony shoes. Well, they were awful. They were even worse than Adidas Nizzers. You remember them? Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Anyway, so we do care. We do invest in ourselves. You would dread to think how much I've spent to get where I've got. Camps in the States, camps in Europe, working with Alan, working with Will. Alan started his camps in 1991. I've been to every camp since 1991. We have produced over 100 international referees from all over Europe, who are now, I'm so pleased when I see them refereeing tournaments, I see them doing the big games. There's 4 referees refereeing at Eurobasket this year in Lithuania, who have all been on Alan's, Will's and my camp. And that makes me feel proud. So we are doing something right. When I was on the way up, I learned from officials. I learned from great coaches, great players in this country. Colin Irish, Legends. Mark, I didn't know Mark that well. Alton. Russ. But the easiest way for me to remember it, and this is part and parcel of the life of being a referee. Look at the definition of referee in the dictionary. An arbitrator, to see fair play. That's the definition. But this always sticks in my mind as being an official. And that is, if a player makes 20 passes, 15 are good, it would result in a great 3-point shot or a great dunk. And 5, probably like Marcy when he used to play, just go out of bounds. What do people remember? They remember the 15 passes, the assists. What about a referee? What about if a referee makes 20 calls and 15 are good and 5 are not good? What's everybody remember? The 5 that he didn't get right. Not the 15 he got right, because that's people's perception of referees, the bad guys. Is the foul count important in a game? John? Think it is? I think it is. You do, at your level? Women's 2? No disrespect, had some great games at Women's 2 this year. Fantastic, loved it. It's important. So why don't you moan about it when you win? Only when you lose. Look at the foul count. Be consistent. That's what you want of us. Be consistent. The game's not consistent. Referees are not consistent. Coaches are not consistent. Players are not consistent. Otherwise, it'd be so easy to referee. That's why we have these conflicts of interpretations. We have to be consistent. Before I show you a few clips of some of our international colleagues who still they make mistakes. It's an education. We don't do these clips to kill the referees. We do it so they can learn from their mistakes, so they go to a higher tournament and they don't make these mistakes. Over the years, the last 6 years, I've been very privileged. I went to World University Games in Turkey in 2005, and I hooked up with one of the Premiership referees, Mike Dean, who was out there refereeing the football. And over the 6 years, we built up a very good relationship with also Uriah Rennie, Howard Webb. I do a lot of work with Howard. Very pleased for him. He had a great year last year. But we exchange. I send some of my young referees to the football, and I have some of their football referees. And I can't believe the amount of abuse they take. I just can't get it into my head how 11 players can circle a referee. What's the answer? Fine them? Is it worth fining the footballer? Just, how much do you want? Sit them out, by all means. But it's interesting because, say we exchange people, we exchange views, but it's the same understanding. Knowledge of the game, fitness, everything that goes with a complete referee. Just before we show this, what I'd like you to do, just a couple of minutes, work in pairs. Five to 10 bullet points on qualities that you feel as people in this room, you need to be, or you need to have to be a top official. Just give yourself a couple of minutes.
Thick skin.
Thick skin or thick?
Like that.
You don't have to show
Good looking.
It's a good one. Feeling across the game? Feeling across the game? No, the rules.
Well, yeah.
Consistency, so you level across the board. Knowledge,
1 more minute.
Consistency.
passion is an absolute must.
We married men. Not around that.
Doesn't matter, it's still in passion.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Can you not write down?
What would we use for that?
People skills, isn't it?
Johnson. Yeah, get on with it.
People skills.
Okay?
Really? Oh, someone who's better.
Okay.
Who's falls on this?
Just going round the room. Give me one.
Good understanding of the game.
Understanding of the game.
Yeah.
Understanding the game, the rules. So we're understanding.
Rules,
Okay.
plays, players.
Okay. Like it. Good start. Understanding. Any more? Shout 'em out.
Tolerance for stress.
Tolerance for stress. Yeah, that's why I've got no hair.
But you never get stressed, do you?
I don't get stressed. I just stress people.
Communication skills.
Very good. Communication. Any more?
Passion for the game.
Passion. Go on. 2 more.
Fitness.
I'll say fitness.
Fitness. Glad we had that one.
You gotta say which one? Consistency.
Consistency, yes.
Oh, that's well.
Okay. Right, what we're going to do now is break these down into a physical or mental skill. So, understanding of the game, knowledge, rules, mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed?
Yeah.
Tolerance. So tolerance, we're looking, who said tolerance? Who used tolerance? So tolerance, we're looking at man management, what we're going to do, if you do this, then, you know, that sort of thing.
I think so.
Yeah? So do you think that's a mental or a physical?
I don't know, well, if it's people are like shouting at you, you just got to calm down.
So you have to-
So it's quite mental.
It's a mental because you have to develop your skill of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a mental skill as well. Okay. Communication, knowing when to speak to people. I'm not going to speak to John if I've just called a 5th foul on his point guard who's just had about 25 points in the game and I fouled him out. I'm not going to say, oh, sorry about that, John. Oh, you won. I'm not going to go anywhere near him, am I? I'm going to go another way. You know, how many times in the game, this is all, you know, tied up with communication. Free throws, the referee stands, where does the referee stand for the free throws? He stands looking at the free throw line, yeah? And then he backs himself up right to where the coach is standing. Invited him to have his ears chewed when he's just called a foul. Why do we do this? I don't understand it. Stand there. Because if he wants to come on the court and speak to you, he knows he's in trouble.
Or alternatively, he might shout at you, and
He
then
might
everyone
shout
hears
at
it.
you.
And then everyone hears it, and then you've got a reason to do something.
So, mental. Like we said earlier, feel for the game, passion, whatever you want to call it, feel for the game. Years ago we used to have some characters in the BBL. Nick, Bob, Billy Mims. Bob Donward if you used to stand there next to Bob like this, next thing you'd feel Coca-Cola dripping down your neck. Just tip his little Coca-Cola down there. Or he'd pull your shirt out, or he'd have his pen and he'd draw on your arms. Billy, you know we have a coach's box? Well, I think we have a coach's box. Some venues do have a coaching box because it's a sports centre, you're not allowed to put lines down. You have a coach's box. Why do you have a coach's box? Well, actually, to keep you guys in the area, to save you interfering with the table. Billy was never in. Billy was always out. So what did I used to do? Raj, I want to speak to you. Raj! I used to run straight past him. Right down to the other end. And then he'd come back into the box. And when he get to me, I used to run off. Because I've managed him back in the box without having to threaten him. It was a game with us. It was a game. He got to speak to me and I got him back in the box without having to deal with any technical foul again.